Hello, and welcome to another RANGROO's Unit of the Week. And today, we'll take a look at the F16A MLU for Denmark. The F-16 went into service in 1978 to 79 in the United States Air Force as a cheap but effective multi-role jet plane. So it could be an interceptor, intercepting enemy planes, or it could be used as a ground attack bomber. Now, because of the cheap price of the F-16, a lot of countries brought it who didn't really have all that good of an air force to up their air force to more modern standards, but for a decent price. And because of how interchangeable the F-16 was, it was a very lucrative option. Now, the one we're talking about is the F-16A, which is for Denmark, which was a variation of the F-16. Now, the MLU, bit of an odd acronym, but it stands for the Midlife Update, as during round about the late 80s, they thought that, well, these F-16s aren't really going to be replaced for another 10 to 20 years because of economical reasons. So they did a whole big upgrade, a whole big program on updating the current F-16s by improving the aviation and tracking systems, so on and so forth. The F-16A MLU is a 160-point Danish multi-role fighter with the restriction from 1995, type restrictions of airborne, mechanised, motorised, armoured and support, and it is also prototyped. Its first weapon is the M61A1 Vulcan 20mm minigun, which is a pretty bloody decent close-range interceptor weapon, because due to the fact the Vulcan minigun shoots at a ridiculous fire rate of 4,000 rounds a minute, you can damage those nasty SUs and MiGs quite easily. Its secondary armament is the AGM-65D Maverick Fire and Forget missile, with 4 of these missiles strapped underneath the rings. You got a range of ground of 3.3 kilometers, 50% accuracy, and 26 armor penetration power with a 2-second reload time. Overall, a pretty fantastic heavy tank killer for when you need those T-80Us and T-72BUs dead. And finally, we're going to aim the 120A AMRAAM Fire and Forget radar missiles with a range of airplanes of a whopping 7 kilometers, 60% accuracy, and 5 HE power. Overall, some very nice big bloody missiles used for shooting down enemy interceptors and bombers at long distances. And if we just pop down to some miscellaneous stats, has no armor at all because it's an airplane with 40% ECM, very good air detection, a max speed of 1,000 kilometers an hour, a 350 turn radius, and a time over target of 75 seconds. In battle, it's just a very decent multi-role fighter. Yeah, I would use it more as a ground bomber because AMRAAMs, even though they have that extended long range, which is nice to get in the first hit on enemy interceptors, when you get into that more close knife fighty range that Su-27s like to get into, short range 2 kilometer missiles are gonna punch quite a bit of a hole in your aircraft. But when using this aircraft for dealing with T-80Us and T-72BUs, those Maverick missiles come in handy. And because if you're playing a Denmark national deck, and if you'll do that, I give you sincere congratulations, because that is bloody hard to do, because due to the fact that you don't really have much tank killing powers, and these are one of the few tools that you get for doing that. And also, you can also use this in a Scandinavian deck, and this is probably one of the better ground attack ATGM planes that you can get. All in all, it's a very nicely priced with some very nice stats, anti-tank killing machine, and I'd highly recommend to put this in your Scandinavian decks. And well, that's all I have time for. It's been another RANGROO's Unit of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and most importantly, take it easy.